Hi guys, how you all doing today? So today I'm gonna make a video on how to make your rabbit babies to survive after they have been given birth to. Because if your rabbit babies are not surviving after they have been given birth to, and they are all dying, then you are not going to be in business for long. You are going to run at a loss. So your return on investment come basically from the offsprings that are giving birth to. So if the offspring are not surviving, you know, you are not going to be making profits. So it's important that your rabbit should not just give birth. It's important that their offspring should survive after they have been, born. So that's what we're going to be covering in today's video. It's very important that you should watch and listen and take note of the things I'm going to be saying because it's going to help your business and your rabbits to do well. You understand? All right. So the first thing is this, like I always say, a major advantage of rabbit farming is the short gestation period. However, even though it has a short gestation period, if a rabbit conceive and give birth to stillbirth or didn't give birth at all or didn't conceive at all or even give birth to the babies and after a while the baby die and that continue to happen, then you are running at a loss. Your business is not profitable. You understand? So the rabbit industry is a mega industry. It's a mega million industry in Nigeria. You understand? However, your productivity can influence what you will get out of the industry as a whole. So that is something you have to take care of as an individual. Your level of productivity of your endeavor as someone who is farming them. You understand? You must ensure that they are multiplying and they are growing. That is very, very important. So I'm going to be mentioning some few points here today that you should put into place in order for your rabbit babies to begin to survive and not die. Even after you have weaned them from their mother. You understand? Number one is that there must be proper feeding of their mother, even before you cross them. The doe should be well fed. You understand? If a doe that is malnourished, either before crossing or after crossing, especially, will definitely not conceive. So if your female rabbit is not well fed, then chances are high that she will not conceive. You understand? And even if she conceive, the probability are also high that she might not give birth to all of the babies that she conceives. She might just give birth to a shorter number. You understand? Because she's malnourished. But when she's properly fed, then she can give birth to a good number, a large number, and all the babies will even be they will even be big right from the day that they were giving birth to. So proper feeding, proper diet is very important for the mother, that is going to conceive the baby. You must ensure that both before you cross her and after crossing, the mother is well fed. And that's why you must have a good and a proper rabbit feed. That is very important. You understand? Okay, so the next thing is make sure that you are crossing a matured mother. Make sure that the mother is mature before you cross her. This is very important. I have always said it in my previous video that I personally discourage the practice of force mating a female rabbit. I don't believe in it and I don't think it should be encouraged because there has been various cases of people force crossing their female, and sometimes the female end up giving birth to stillbirths or maybe just one or two and stuff like that. You understand? So it should not be. Your female should come on it naturally, and it's very easy. You understand? If they are well fed, you deworm them, you do all you ought to do. They will come on it easily and naturally. You understand? They will come on it easily and naturally. That is how it should be. That is how it is in the wild. In the wild, they don't force feed, they don't force cross each other. They cross naturally. So when you are breeding them at home, you don't have to force them into crossing. You understand? And above all, beyond just coming on it, it's very important that the rabbit should be matured. A mature rabbit will have their appropriate body structure and capacity, bodily speaking now, to conceive and hold the pregnancy and deliver them. You understand? So that's why sometimes you notice that a rabbit can give birth for the first time to maybe 6 or 7. Then the next time it can give birth to like 10 or 11. What happens is that the body has grew bigger, and as it grew bigger, it can now contain more offspring. You understand? So it's very important that you should cross a matured rabbit, allow the rabbit to be fully matured before you cross her. You understand? It will help the babies to grow well and to be big even from day one. When they are big from day one, it increases their chances of survival. You understand? All right. So the next thing is, if you don't want to lose your rabbit baby and your effort of breeding rabbits, avoid the practice of inbreeding. Inbreeding is basically crossing the male and female from the same mother together. It's a practice that should be avoided. When you are crossing offsprings, you understand, between one another, it's not a good practice. So a male and a female from the same mother born on the same day, you crossing them together, that is inbreeding. It can cause a lot of deformity. It can lead to more stillbirth. It can also it can lead to some form of malformation in their growth. You understand, having some form of their body deformed. You understand, when they are growing. So in order to avoid, and it can also lead to high level mortality. Yes, that no matter how much medication you use and all those things, the rabbit eventually died. Their immunity level is low because of the fact that they are closely related, they are blood related. You understand? So in order to avoid those kind of tendency, ensure that you don't practice inbreeding. Deliberately make sure that you don't cross offspring from the same mother together. You understand? When you avoid inbreeding, you increases the chances of your rabbit survival. That is very, very important. You understand? All right, the next one is providing nest box before the day of delivery. Providing nest box before the day of delivery is very, very important. You must make sure that you provide the nest box before your rabbit delivers. So, for those of you who don't know, this is what a nest box looks like. It is meant for the rabbit to deliver their offsprings. You see, this is a nest box here. This is what a nest box look like. You understand? We have a whole lot of them here. As you can see, there's so many nest box here. You understand? So that is what a nest box look like. So you put the nest box there at least between five to 8 days before the delivery. So if you cross a rabbit today, you know that definitely in the next 30 days you are expecting the rabbit to deliver. So before the 30th day is complete, make sure that between the 5th day to delivery to the expected delivery date, or like 8 days, you put the nest box there. The ideal of the nest box is to help the mother get used to the nest box. She will know that that is where she's meant to deliver, because in the wild they will normally burrow into the ground and deliver their babies there. But now you have kept them, you have confined them inside the cage. So what you do now that you have confined them inside the cage is that you must ensure that you provide a place. The nest box become like a safe place for the mother to deliver a baby, right? It's a safe place for the mother to deliver a baby. That is very, very important. You understand? So since she cannot burrow into the ground now, she see the nest box as a safe place for her to deliver a baby. And then sometime before she even delivers, she can pull her fore, and deliver there. And sometimes also it's also a good practice for you to actually put some grasses, especially dry grasses, inside the nest box, so that it can serve like a bedding, for the rabbit baby that's going to be born. You understand? So that way, um, they can cluster together, and they don't have to touch maybe the wooden part of the cage or the net part of the cage. It becomes like a protection. You understand, which also increase their chances of survival. And when you put the nest box earlier there before the delivery day, you help the mother to have the consciousness of the fact that she's meant to use the box. You understand? She's meant to use the box to deliver. She will know that this is what she's meant to use when she wants to deliver. So, and the good thing about using a nest box is this: because it is confined, it's short, just like I showed you in the video just now. Because it is confined, the rabbit babies are limited in their movement, because when they are born, they are always moving. Their eyes are not yet open, so they are moving their body from the left to the right, just moving randomly everywhere. They don't know what they want to do. You understand? So they kept moving. So that movement is confined inside the nest box. No matter how much they move, they cannot move beyond the environment of the nest box. So that brings some level of protection to them, keeping them from falling, keeping them from predators, keeping them from, mortality and all. So when you use nest box, you actually increase the chances of your rabbits, surviving after they have been given birth to. So that is also very, very important. So the next point now is allowing your rabbit to grow well while they are still with the mother before you wean them. I've noticed something. When you wean rabbits too early, chances are high that your rabbit will not survive. after you have weaned them. You understand? So if you wean them too early, they might not survive. So it is good that you should allow them to grow well before you wean them. Now let me give you a tip here. If a rabbit give birth to, let's say, 6 offsprings, and another rabbit give birth to 10 offsprings, normally the right thing for you to do is, if they give birth, let's say the interval was between 4 days. So one gave birth today, and then another one gave birth in the next 3 days. You understand? You can foster some baby from the one that has many to the one that has lesser, so that the labor will not be too much on one of them. That's number one. Number two is that if you take two from the one that has 10, now the one that has 10 has 8, and then the other one has 8. Now there's a level of balance. So the stress will not be too much on one. But in a situation whereby one gave birth today is what? Today is Saturday. And another one gave birth next week, Saturday. So the gap is too wide. There would have been notable growth rates, and they cannot catch up anymore. You cannot foster by that time, because the one that gave birth today, the babies have almost opened their eye. They are bigger. They have grown their fur, and the other one is still very young. You cannot foster at that point. Now, what you do is this: if the one that gave birth later gave birth to like 10 or more, then that one should probably stay with the mother for like 7 to 8 weeks. You understand? When they stay with mother longer, they will grow bigger, and they will be their chances of survival will be higher. But if you win them too early, they might not be able to survive. So ensure, don't be in a hurry to win your rabbit. Some people used to win rabbits at 4 weeks, 5 weeks. Most of the time, they end up losing the rabbits. I've seen somebody who even sold his own rabbit. You can imagine how cruel people can be. Sold a 5 weeks old rabbit, and the person that bought them and just end up losing all of them. They all died one after the other. So to avoid that kind of story, make sure that your rabbit is, takes enough time with the mother before you win them. You understand? When they're with their mother, the presence of their mother helps them. You understand? To do well. You know, when they're with their mother, the chances of dying is very low, except in a situation where the mother herself is infected. And if the mother is infected or has a disease or has an issue, then you can inject the mother. And when you inject the mother, the babies are still sucking our breast. Then there will be no more mortality. You understand? But other than that, most of the time when they're with the mother and the mother is okay, there's not going to be any form of mortality. So most people's mortality of young rabbit always happen when they have weaned the rabbit. So to avoid that happening, just make sure that you allow the baby to spend enough time with their mother before you wean them, and then you are good to go. You understand? So I think I have let me say this as well. Proper feeding is very important for the rabbit, both when they are with their mother and after you have weaned them. You understand? They must be well fed if they will not die. You understand? They must be well fed if they will not die. Then let me say this. I don't encourage you to give grasses to a rabbit that is newly weaned. Let them remain on their rabbit feed. That one is better and safer than giving them grasses, because at that stage the digestive system is still forming, and apart from that, sometimes they can easily contract things like coccidiosis. I think the major threat that most rabbit farmers, especially beginners, used to encounter with their newly weaned rabbit is coccidiosis. So, and most of the time, coccidiosis comes into their midst easily when they are fed on grasses. They can easily contract coccidiosis via grasses. You understand? So, for newly weaned rabbits, I don't advise you to give them grasses. Let them grow, a little more, much more, before you start introducing grasses to them. So place them on the rabbit feed. It will keep them safe. You understand? And then finally, I think is medication. When they are 4 weeks, make sure you give them an anti-coccidiosis drug. At that 4 weeks, they are still with their mother. So both the mother and the baby should have anti-coccidiosis drug for 3 days. Then after you have weaned them, if you wean them at 7 weeks, at 8 weeks, or 9 weeks, anytime you wean them, make sure you wean them on that anti-coccidiosis drug as well for another 3 days. You understand? And another drug you can also use interchangeably, in between when you use the first course anti-coccidiosis and the next one is actually your ginger and garlic mix. You understand? I've talked about that in my several video. You can use your ginger and garlic mix for them because it will boost their immunity. It's also good for the mother. Even when she's pregnant, she can take it. It doesn't affect her pregnancy because it's an organic medication. You understand? So that's another thing you can do to help the rabbits to boost their immunity and keep them strong. That way you'll be able to reduce the level of mortality of the rabbits that has been weaned from their mother. Even before they are weaned and after they are weaned, it will keep them in good shape and keep them in good health. So that's what I have for you guys today. I hope you have learned something from this video. If you have questions, drop your question in the comment section and I'll be there to answer you. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.